subtract my age. Life is hard to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is James, and today we're going to talk about what's really going to happen to Julian Assange. Now, obviously, we don't know, but John Kiriakou might have an idea. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box. It's a GoFundMe link for Devon's Journey to Recovery. This is for charity. It's not for us. We don't personally make any money off of this. It is to help pay someone's medical bills because we don't have free health care. So please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link is down there. Alright. So I saw this. It was recommended to me by an algorithm. It's Redacted Tonight. And they get an interview with John Kiriakou. He is, I believe, former intelligence type guy. You know, whistleblower, prosecuted, went through the whole fucking process. And he might understand what's going to happen to Julian Assange as much as anyone else, because he had to go through it. So here's John Kiriakou with Lee Camp discussing what's going to happen to Julian Assange.
Speaking of Julian Assange, you've done an incredible job of covering the persecution of Assange on your show, Loud and Clear. And we don't need to go through every detail of it because, I've done a lot of that. But one part that you're uniquely suited to talk about is if he were extradited to the U.S., which the U.S. wants, what kind of trial would he get here in the U.S.?
I don't think he would ever go to trial.
Yeah.
I think that the deck is so stacked that it's just not within the realm of possibility for him to receive a fair trial. What we're talking about here is the Eastern District of Virginia. This is the federal court that's based in Alexandria, Virginia. There's one judge there in particular, Judge Leonie Brinkema. She was appointed to the bench, the federal bench, by President Reagan. She was elevated from magistrate to trial judge by President Clinton. And before she became a judge, she was a national security prosecutor in the Justice Department. So she reserves all national security cases for herself. She did my case, she did Jeffrey Sterling's case, she has the Snowden case, she has Julian Assange's case. She even took Zacarias Moussaoui, the alleged, the 20th hijacker. No national security defendant has ever won a case in her courtroom. She made it clear to me in the very beginning, to my attorneys, that she would not allow us to put on a defense. We actually made 70 separate motions asking that 70 separate classified documents be declassified so that I could present them to prove my innocence. Right. We blocked off 2 days for that hearing, and we walked into the courtroom, and she said, I'm going to make this easy for everyone, and I'm going to deny all 70 of these motions. And then that was it. As we were walking out of the courtroom,
it's basically saying you...
So you're not allowed to basically present evidence. It's like you're done for. There's nothing you can do. It's over for you. If you can't present fucking evidence, I think he's gonna say where it's just held up in court for years, sort of like Chelsea Manning, right? She won't speak. She won't she won't say anything in these closed room fucking courtrooms. So they're just like, oh, we'll hold you in contempt for years at a time. Let's let them continue.
All 70 of these motions. And then that was it. As we were walking out of the courtroom,
it's basically saying you can't have any evidence.
You can't have a defense.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's going to happen to Julian Assange. I said to my lawyers, what just happened? And they said, we just lost the case. That's what happened. I said, well, what do we do now? The answer was, now we talk about a plea.
It's so incredible.
And that's also interesting. You're not allowed to present evidence, so it's like you're already trapped in a corner. And the best you can hope for, as far as to have any sense of a normal life after or any type of freedom, is to take a plea deal. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens with a plea deal? You accept guilt. even if you may not be guilty. So now the New York Times and Washington Post and Rachel Maddow can say, I told you so, pleaded guilty to hacking the election. If Assange does that, which he probably won't. That's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing he won't accept guilt, which means they're going to throw him in jail forever and ever and ever. It might happen either way, but no plea deal means it goes to trial. You have no evidence. I mean, I only understand this through like fucking random movies from the 90s where it's like, if you don't plead guilty, we'll go to trial. If we go to trial, they're going to put death penalty on the table. Like that shit.
There's also under specific circumstances, I believe you can plead guilty, but it's not because you admitted guilt. It's out of the for your own well-being. To say that.
Like a no contest?
Something like that, and you get sent to jail anyway.
Yeah. I think
So,
it's... Yeah.
it's usually,
I don't think that'll be on the table.
well,
I think it's either we convict you, in which case you're guilty, or you admit you're guilty and get less time, I guess. In which case we got what we wanted. You were guilty of being a Russian hacker. Well, actually, that's what the newspapers will sell, because this case isn't about the 2016 election. It's about the Chelsea Manning video. It's more about that. So you're guilty of hacking our computers or something to get, like secret information from the U.S. military. But the newspapers will probably twist it into Russian hack. See, he's hacked before, so he's definitely hacking here. We just can't build the evidence against him, but we know he did this. So they're going to probably turn it into that type of story. Let's let him keep going.
Well, and then in your case, they pushed you into this plea deal, and then they wouldn't even let you take out all this stuff in the plea deal that wasn't true.
Oh my God.
Isn't that?
Nobody focuses on that. I'm so glad that you brought that up. So in the plea deal, they have this final agreement, and it's the prosecutors that write the agreement. So you can object, and they can tell you to go fly a kite. And so in this agreement, it has me confessing to grave crimes, right, that I didn't commit. And I said to the judge, she asked me if I had anything to say, and I said, yeah, I have something to say. My lawyer says, no, he doesn't. I said, no, I do. I have nothing to lose. So I got up and I said to the judge, this is all nonsense. I didn't do any of the stuff that they've put into this agreement. Well, she says, it's just window dressing. And I said, be that as it may, it's simply not true. The same thing's going to happen to Julian.
So even they'll throw extra charges in there that so they will get him on the Russian hacking the 2016 election thing. They will get him on that by just adding it to the charges. And then that's if he pleads guilty, which he probably won't. In which case they'll just convict him of it. Or of something. This is unfair. Completely unfair. It's unfair to everyone, actually. It's really unfair for Julian, but it's unfair for everyone else as well, that this type of world exists. It's a sad thing, man.
Right, that's incredible. I mean, so amazing. And this also gets to what's going on with Chelsea Manning as well, in terms of miscarriage of justice. Chelsea Manning is in prison right now for not going along with this grand jury. Just talk about that and talk about the reason she's given for not going along.
Chelsea Manning has been hit doubly in this case. Chelsea was subpoenaed to testify before a grand jury. We now know that that was Julian Assange's grand jury. She refused to testify, and she was locked up in contempt of court. So what happens when you are in contempt of court is that you have to remain in jail until you change your mind or until the term of the grand jury runs out. Right. Well, that term ran out after something like 62 days, I think it was, and they had to release her. Well, then they re-impaneled a grand jury. looking apparently for additional charges that they could levy against Julian Assange.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to pressure her into saying something she hasn't said.
Absolutely, and see, that's the key. What she said, this was her defense, is you don't need for me to testify because I already testified in my own case, and all you have to do is take the transcript and submit it as evidence into the grand jury. And they said, no, we want you to repeat yourself, with the idea being, if she were to contradict herself, they can put a false statements felony charge on her and then use that as additional pressure to get her to actively testify against Julian. She wouldn't play their game, which was really, really brave. Yeah. Now, what she could have done was take the easy way out. She could have said, I don't recall. You just sit there in front of the grand jury and in response to every single question you say, I don't recall. Mm-hmm. But she didn't. She said, you are not going to force me to do anything I don't want to do, and she was willing to give up her freedom for it.
Yeah, and now they're saying that she owes after 30 days $500 a day, followed by 60 days $1,000 a day, and it's torture by checkbook basically.
And I think that may actually be unconstitutional. It's something that certainly her attorneys are going to take up.
Fuck the Constitution. Fuck the Constitution. It's immoral, straight up. All that shit, and then they bill you after. $1,000 a day. You owe us. What are you going to spend that money on? These people... This shit is ass backwards, man. That's completely unfair. And I'm not surprised. That might be bad, too. Not only does Chelsea Manning go to jail, do the time, get pardoned, goes back to jail, and now they're like trying to keep her in jail. That's very weird. Like, having her come in to repeat the same words again to like catch them on something. It's like, these people are hard to call people.
They're scum.
It's like empty shell people. And I wish I had more details on it. I wish I had more details on like who these people are, because he's naming names. Like, he named that judge. I already forgot her name, but he named that judge as like, who is this person? What's up with them? Can I find video on this person and like try to read their psyche?
It's like what I said months ago. It's a specific place where a lot of these whistleblowers are all brought, and they all get convicted, or they all get it's just a big fucking ass either way,
Yeah, whistleblowers are high-profile cases, like he said, the 20th, bomber or whatever on 9/11. Oops, I said bomb. Yeah, very weird. It's sort of like, I remember, like, you hear Jimmy Dore, your progressive types talk about a name, Neera Tanden. Then you actually hear her speak, and it's like, whoa. Like, do you drink virgin blood or something? Like, she straight up looks like a witch, I'm not going to lie. Just like Hillary. Very similar in those regards. And it's like, what's going on in your psyche? Or what's not going on in your psyche? The freak. But I don't want to completely dehumanize them. They shouldn't be completely dehumanized. I'm sure there's a scared child hiding somewhere in their hearts. But that's another problem. How many people are equipped to deal with such a thing? Not many. Not the Dalai Lama, that's for fucking sure. Alright, anything else to say on this? Alright, that's it from us. Just wanted to, I heard this clip, and I was like, what the fuck, man? Just when things, without researching them, seem unfair, and you get one more detail, and it's like, it's even more unfair than you thought it was before. It's probably even worse than these guys are even saying. They didn't take time to go about the whole fucking thing. I mean, I don't know what to say. It should be some sort of HBO documentary or something, but I don't think they would do that.
Not in about 50 years later.
Yeah, after everyone's dead and gone. And shit.
Yeah.
All right, that's it from us. Please subscribe if you like. Comment, agree, disagree. I don't know why you would disagree. We didn't really say much. Recommend videos on any topic. That's always cool. It's helpful. Donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there, description box. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.